allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call a meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Seeley, Sarah Antonsen, Pat Bickett,
Here.
Dayla Bolus,
Here.
Will Roque,
Here.
Larry Rohr,
Here.
and Mike Tiedemann.
Here. Before we adopt the agenda, I think the item number 8, we would move to executive session. We might have a little more expansive discussion on that. So with that in mind, motion to adopt agenda as amended. Motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Second. Motion and a second to adopt the agenda. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Agenda is passed as amended. Minutes from the July 21st meeting. Motion to adopt the minutes from July 21, 2025.
Second.
Motion and second on the minutes from the last meeting. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approval of the minutes. Visitors, Kelsey.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Back again to ask again permission for use of the baseball fields or the Graceby Nelson fields for an adult softball tournament and to be able to consume alcohol down there.
What was the dates on that again?
Looking at September 20th,
What time frame?
I would say 9 to 8. Hopefully, depending on,
9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
yeah, just depends on how many teams we have. Usually it goes pretty quick because we haven't had a whole lot of teams sign up that late.
And would you be using the full complex or just the?
If we don't have too many teams that sign up, we could just stick to the 2 at the bottom. But if there's a possibility, if we have more this year, use ones at the top.
I think it might be a little difficult with the new complex, we most likely will have that all tore up.
Oh, okay.
Well, and I think the other one, we are gonna keep 3rd Street open all the way out,
Okay,
but it could be that they may be working on the road. It's supposed to be almost done by then, but we're already, just from the last report, and Pat will talk about, we're probably already just two weeks behind what their schedule was at, when they gave it to us a week ago, so.
On the extension out to Old 77.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think they're better off sticking to fields 1 and 2 right off 3rd Street.
Or there'll be a lot of people parking in that one parking lot and walking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can't get there.
Can't get there.
Oh, you still can't?
Probably be able to get to the new parking lot.
Not by walking from the old one?
Not cars, they can walk,
Oh, yeah.
they can walk from the old
yeah.
ones to the new fields, yeah.
Yeah, beware that the work on the addition out there is coming along, but going to improve the road because there's interest in some of the industrial lots out there as well, so.
right. Okay. Now we can plan on just using the 2 fields then at the bottom for now.
Okay.
That works.
Just a motion.
Motion for approval?
I'll make the motion to allow the adult charity softball tournament to consume alcohol beverages at the North Ball Fields, or Graceby Nelson Ball Fields, September 20th. Approximately 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Second. Motion and a second to approve use of the adult charity softball tournament, September 20th. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Have fun.
Thank you.
More visitors?
Just visiting.
Just visiting. Okay, excellent.
Someone had verified requirements that do.
Okay. Welcome. Next item, committee or mayor reports. Don't believe we have anything. Okay. Next item on the agenda is Pat from Banner.
Good evening. Just try to run through a few items here quick on our August engineers report. I see a few of the highlights there are highlighted for you. On the TAP grant application this week, Wednesday, we meet with the DOT to go over the application and the route. Myself and another engineer from Banner will be here along with the city staff and get some feedback from DOT on what ideally, they'll give us an idea of the viability of that project and the route and maybe some ideas of things we can change if we need to for the final application that'll be due here this fall. On the general engineering, this was just kind of a note for something to keep in mind while you're putting together your 2026 budget. And maybe ties in with the task of replacing your city administrator, but if we're requesting to have a line item put in your budget for general engineering, that way if there is anything that comes up that staff or your administrator or finance officer ask us to do, there's at least some money that you have earmarked for that. It might help streamline your process just from a budgeting and expenditure standpoint. The way we approach it is it would be something you would request of us. We would put together a little scope and a schedule of whatever that task might be. So it could be something like this TAP grant application. Chances are that may not have been budgeted for. If we have that catch-all line item in there, that maybe will help you with your budgeting as you go through the year. Just a suggestion or a request there. If you do want to do that and you have that included in your budget, probably around December or January, we would give you an agreement to sign then. That would kind of formalize that fee. And then, as we go through the year, if it was not used, then it just doesn't get used and it can roll over till next year or be used for something else or whatever. Again, it's just more of a placeholder. On the ball field project, we have the final pay request and change order that we'll be looking at here in a little bit. I don't know if there's any other outstanding questions or concerns that anybody has prior to finalizing out that job. Sounds like all the outstanding items have been taken care of and Parkway has completed their part of it. There's any questions on that or? Okay. 7th Street project, we've done a walkthrough, generated a punch list, sent that to First Rate. We've had an initial kind of review with them on items that are yet to be corrected. A lot of it has to do with grading and seeding and some concrete work that needs to be replaced, some concrete work that needs to be added. One of the things that we're working on, we noted a low area essentially straight east of the clubhouse that's holding a lot of water along the existing sidewalk. We came up with a plan where we can First Rate can put area drain in there and pipe it over to the inlet that's near the northeast corner of the clubhouse. So we'll get a price for them on that. And then during that walkthrough with Kelly and Jerry and Jeff and Keith, we identified a few other areas along the west side of 7th Street that could use some surfacing to allow for like a dumpster pad and some extra space for the parks guys by their maintenance shed. So that'll all get included in there as well.
Say, Pat, is there anything on that low area that was created by the construction work or that was pre-existing?
I think a little bit of both. I think one of the issues that happened was as the paver was going by, they kind of dropped it down to match some existing concrete. In hindsight, that concrete probably could have come out. I still think we would have trapped the water back there. And ultimately, I think it's one of the things where it was maybe an issue before that wasn't necessarily talked about a lot. And when it was gravel, the water maybe went away a little quicker. And now that it's asphalt, it doesn't go away as quickly. So by putting this area drain in there, it'll just help mitigate that.
So is this something that's like a make good or an add-on?
It would be an add-on.
Okay.
And I think budget wise, there should be plenty of room in the construction budget. But again, it'd be a question of if you have any concerns about that or not. I guess the next step will be to get some pricing from First Rate, so it would, you'd have a chance to review that and determine, what the correct approach to that is.
Okay.
On the sewer lining project, again, in the course of just kind of the progress of the project and visiting with the contractors, talking to the city staff as we go, we've identified an opportunity for finding some more pipe to line. We already had that first change order that added quite a bit, but just with some round numbers and looking, it looks like we identified about another $200,000 worth of lining work that could be added. I think Elaine got a little feedback from Harley today that there's roughly $1 million in contingencies amongst the conglomerated funding for all the projects. So again, if it's something that we want to look into pursuing, the money should be there and the opportunities there to add that work to the.
Were these identified while you were cleaning it? You saw some other areas?
Some was that and some was just revisiting the phasing plan and the condition assessment that had been done before. And some of it honestly was missed the first time. There's a stretch of sewer out to the west by Burt's that just wasn't caught on one of the phasing plans. And when we looked at the condition assessment, saw that it was in severe condition, and this is an opportunity to add that in at work by the contractor.
And part of this is because the bid was so much lower than expected. There's an opportunity to move ahead, move some of like next year into this year.
Correct.
That's part of what you're
Yep.
planning.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what would be accomplished here. Yep. And again, now that we're, basically at the end of the Sager project, near the end of the 7th Street project, we know pretty well where those budgets are gonna come in. So there's not as many variables anymore as there were, several months ago when we talked about this first change order. I think we have we and first, or CCOG and Danner have a better handle on the overall budget and where the funding sits.
And it would be locked in at the current pricing, they wouldn't be
They would,
charging us additional.
they would probably have the opportunity to add a little bit like to items like traffic control and mobilization, but the lion's share of the items like the lining, the cleaning, the televising, those are all established unit prices that would just be quantity adjustments.
Okay.
Then on the Bach development project, there was an issue that's been noted out there on Gun Club Road. It showed itself due to the recent rains and then also Sukup and Metro trying to get to work on that portion of the road from 3rd Street going over to the new ball field. If you've driven out there lately, you've probably noticed there's water still sitting in that area. We had Geotech out last week to do some soil borings and, kind of confirmed what we already knew, that in that area, there were some highly saturated soils. Again, a combination of maybe some water that's migrating through the sewer trenches, also just from the rain. And now the grading work that's been done on the Bach development, that all just runs to the north, kind of pools down at that low end. So Metro and Sukup have basically run into the issue where the soils are so wet that they can't build the road. The one kind of long-term fix to it that we have available is to put in some drain. So I think this would be roughly about a 500 to 700 foot area from east of the 3rd Street intersection to roughly the middle of the detention pond in the Bach development. To put in some drain tile that would be long-term, a way to drain out any water that continues to come this direction. And then it would take some a thicker layer of oversized gravel on top of the road section that we were planning on, gravel base, 4 inches of asphalt. Again, we don't have a price from Metro on this yet. A good portion of it would be established unit prices that we can just, adjust some quantities. Drain tile would be something new, and something that would probably be a long-term benefit. But I guess to us, it was kind of a little bit of a surprise, just knowing that, a portion of that road, or basically all of that road, had been there now for at least a year, part of the Parkway project, another part of it's been there even longer. So whether it is just primarily due to the large amount of rain that we've had so far this year, or, you know, the construction that's kind of tilled things up and whatever, but, the unfortunate part of it is to keep Metro off the city streets. Like, we don't want them running down Third Street with their loaded gravel trucks. Their way in is to come down Gun Club Road from the east, and they currently can't do that because of this section that's unstable. So until they can get this stabilized and built up, they're kind of at a standstill with hauling gravel into the development itself, which kind of spins into Jerry's comment about the schedule getting behind.
Where would the drain tile be draining to?
So coming out of the detention pond, there's a 24-inch pipe, I believe it is, that has a drop inlet on both sides of the street in the curb. That would make a real easy spot to tie drain tile in, and then get that water going out into the channel as it goes to the north, and not pond up anywhere that's gonna.
In that
cause a
small
problem.
creek area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And if we had to go, you know, further east, there's twin culverts that cross where the creek basically comes across. We'd have to tie into those culverts, which again, wouldn't be that big of a problem. We don't think we actually have to go that far east based on the geotech exploration, but, well, the proof will be when Sukup gets out there and builds the subgrade and runs loaded trucks on it, and see if that'll hold up to traffic. Again, we know in this area that's soft, it's not going to. I mean, we're not even gonna probably try to do a proof roll on that. We're gonna have to just get the drain tile put in, get it graded as well as possible, get either a geogrid or a geotextile fabric down, then have them start back dumping some of the oversized rock on it just to build a stable foundation so they can continue building the road.
What size oversized?
It's like a 4-inch minus material. So it's
Topping it with gravel.
yeah,
Works well.
yeah. So right now, what Geotech has recommended is 18 inches of oversized with 4 inches of gravel. We think it needs to change a little bit because it's difficult to do just the 4 inches of gravel base over the top of the oversized rock. So we're thinking, you know, something closer to maybe a foot to 16 inches of the oversize, and then 6 to 8 inches of gravel over the top.
It's a lot.
And that's the balance that we have to work through too. I mean, even though it's a 500 to 700 foot area, it's still gonna add up to some material. So we don't wanna be too conservative, but we want it to work too. And so, you know, there's gonna be we have a meeting scheduled. We're trying to schedule a meeting with Geotech tomorrow to talk through some other options to maybe scale that back a little bit. Again, we've had some conversation with Jeff and Keith, but obviously they've been overly busy with the cleanup stuff, so, you know, hopefully now they'll have a little more time, and we'll have a little more information to share with them as well.
Is it possible to tie in the playground area if we're putting this drain tile in? We just got flooded out again with all the rain we had, it's still water standing in it again.
Yeah, that's.
So is there a way to put the? Yeah, well, yeah, the playground there, it's just, it's hard to use it any year if we get a bunch of rain.
I thought that was a swimming pool.
It works pretty good. I think all of our, you know, wood chips are gone. Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to just look at the grades, but I would think so, because we can come in near the bottom of those drop inlets and pipe can.
Just look at it anyhow, it's an option.
I know there's still some grading work that needs to be done in that ditch that's to the south of the concession stand. I mean, your guys did some grading work in that last year, but with our project, we ended up putting that culvert that drains by the playground. It ends up being a little bit lower than it was. So Metro or Sukup has to grade that ditch out. That might help some of the issue. I mean, sure, it didn't help with the recent flooding that you're seeing there. But yeah, putting either a drain tile or an area drain, maybe even looking into an area drain too, would be an option.
Do they have any suggestions for other options like a fly ash or cement the treated base?
We did talk about that, the concern that they had, and I don't know what your experience with that has been. So our experience with it's been really good. But it's been more of a do a street from end to end. What they're concerned of, if we do a 500-foot patch in the middle, you're just gonna push that water out to the ends and not solve the problem that you wanna solve. But I don't know if you've had other experience in that.
I've never had that issue come up where we've moved it, but we don't do a ton of it, but everywhere we have done it, it seems to work.
Sure.
Take stuff that was really spongy to,
Mhm, mhm. And so that might be, maybe that's another discussion for our meeting tomorrow, like if we know that the drain tile will be part of it, that would help mitigate the subsurface water, maybe the cement stabilization is an option. I was thinking that was just one of the concerns that Geotech had brought forward was, again, that the small area. They've had some issues with that or some concerns about that. Maybe they weren't thinking drain tile at the time either. Yeah, I think that's what I had on the report. If there's any other questions or anything on the pay request as we go through those, I can answer that as well.
So if from that meeting tomorrow or if on that activity, we might need some council action next meeting for a change order of some sort then?
Right, I think that's likely. And if I didn't mention that, I don't think I did, on the sewer lining project. There's a coordination meeting tomorrow on that project as well with the contractors, just to, again, with all the areas around town that are dug up and the imminent start of school coming and things like that, we want to just make sure that we're all on the same page with them as to what needs to get done, what needs to be a priority. I'm sure you're tired of looking at Third Street, not passable. Get that buttoned up as soon as they can. And so apparently Dave from Musson Brothers is flying in for the meeting, so they must be listening now a little bit more. So hopefully we'll get some
Pretty hard to go east to west anywhere in town right now, but.
right.
Plus you got a small car.
Oh, for sure, and that hopefully, well, Holstein had indicated that I think even starting today, they were gonna be back in town. I know last week they were in town getting all the manholes raised up to grade. And if the rain will stop for long enough, they can get the patches done, the proof rolls, the gravel put down, the paving done. Hopefully start making some headway.
Anything else, Pat?
No?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a comment too, before we move on to new business on what a wonderful job the crews have done, the way things came together with extra support. Starting right after the wind let up, getting the power back and so forth. It's been extraordinary.
Yeah, our guys got out for the day, well, they were out that morning or that evening pushing trees back just because there were so many trees. I went out about 11 o'clock, and if you got down one street more than a block and a half, you were doing pretty good. We got back up, the trees were absolutely everywhere. And what they did is just push them all so people can get out of their houses and get to work the next day. And we just pushed them to the side, to get them out of the remote place. So, and we did the first day on our own, and yeah, Paul, we knew what we'd never get done with the projects we had without side dumps, but we only have 2 dump trucks. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to drive around early in the morning or Friday night, but I took a lot of videos. We were driving around, and it was as bad as I've ever seen in Beresford. So I've been there a long time.
Are there any opportunities for state or federal grants to help assist with paying for all this?
You know, we're kind of hoping they declare a disaster area for Union and Lincoln County. If they do, then we can apply for some of those funds. So we're hoping that'll help pay for some of those costs.
Okay.
We are completely full. Well, I shouldn't say completely full, but our pile at the rubble site is now full. So we're gonna have to find a new place to put that. So we're gonna be bringing in someone to crush that, or to chop all that up again also, which we're gonna use for our Sagger system cover. So it's not gonna be a waste of anything, but it was pretty expensive last time we did it. It was about $20,000. we've got probably that much sitting on the parking lot of the school still. And we still probably, that's gonna take at least 2 or 3 days to haul that away with the side dumps that we have. And we've got probably tomorrow, I would hopefully wrap up most of the stuff in town. If you follow us on Facebook, Elaine put a post out about 5 o'clock today that we are gonna stop. Don't bring anything else to the curb because we're not gonna go back and pick it up for the second, third and fourth time. We had a few people taking advantage of that and I think we identified a few that were basically using this as a cleanup of all their trees, not just the damaged trees. So we had a lot of trees that were being taken down to the ground, not just taken down the branch that broke off, so. Unfortunately, it's hard to kind of catch that and what's being done, so we ended up hauling a lot more trees than what we probably anticipated, but. What you're gonna see in town as you drive around, look up into the trees, and you're gonna start seeing a lot of dead leaves, those are still hangers up there. And that was our concern with why we didn't open the park back up, because we had branches hanging everywhere. And we couldn't get any of our equipment out there to get up and take them down without tearing the whole park up. We would have got stuck out there, so if you see some branches that are still closer to the 11th Street side, it's because it's so soft in there, we can't even get across to pick them up. We put them in piles, but we can't haul them over without getting our truck stuck, so. We're waiting on that to dry out, so. If people are complaining about that, it's not that we don't want to get to it, it's just that we can't, so. Unless stuff dries out. I think the golf course, I think the guys got most of that picked up as soon as we could. We had a busy weekend. And we have a busy day today, and we have another tournament tomorrow, so we have 4 tournaments in 3 tournaments in 4 days that we wanted to get ready for, so we were able to get it open again for men's league on Thursday. And I think everyone worked pretty good, golfers, I think everything went pretty good. We still got some areas to clean up out there, but they're gonna just have to wait for a little bit. Again, we have some wet areas that it just doesn't make sense to go into and tear it all up at this time of the year. We'll wait till later in the fall if we have to, just because it'll probably start drying out a bit more for us, so. Yeah, the guys did a good job. We had a lot of people support. We have they got a lot of free meals, which is nice. A lot of people donating, so. So we appreciate all that, so I think. The guys did a good job. We've had pretty much everyone working on it. Anyone that could, we asked for kids that wanted to help from the pool and stuff if they were able to, and didn't get much help there, but we had help from almost, but everyone else was out there doing their fair share if they could, so. I think the guys are really getting tired of it though, so hopefully tomorrow we'll ramp most of it out.
Well done. Move on to new business, pay request number 4. First rate on 7th Street project.
Yeah, I think I think we can go through these pretty quickly unless you have questions to ask Pat. I think he's covered most everything there, but the numbers are there if you guys want to approve those. While we're in the motions on the next 6 items, so.
Just a question on 7. This is the intent to put up the road closed signs on either end when things are done?
Yes, yeah. We have them, we just had the barricades there for a while.
Yeah.
I see they're gone today now. They were working on it. Looked like they're doing some fine tuning on the gravel to get that all to the right level, and then they'll put the dirt in behind it, and then that's, I think, a lot today too. Well, they've worked on that, yeah, I hope so. We want to catch a couple days before we get our next rain.
Yeah, I think I noticed they were down over the weekend. There was some traffic, and I thought, well, maybe they blew away.
Well, some of them did.
Yeah.
I think the ones at the very far south end did blow up in one of Eli's house, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a motion to pay request number 4, first rate excavate 7th Street utility extension in the amount of $243,244.69.
Second.
Motion and a second on pay request number 4 to first rate. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pay request number 4 is approved. Next item is pay request 17 to site works on the Sager system.
Make a motion for pay request number 17, Site Works Incorporated Sager System in the amount of $145,294.08.
Second.
Motion and a second on pay request 17. Discussion. Nearing the end on that, Jerry?
We are operating.
Yeah.
We are operating pretty on that. Pat, is there what else is up there? We're holding 200,000 back for it.
Let me see, when Krista said something like that. No, there was nothing specific in there. I think it's just basically a placeholder amount, enough to keep their attention and get the project finalized and all the final cleanup and punch list and things like that done.
I mean, I've driven around it quite a few times, I can't see a whole lot left to do, so.
Okay. But overall, inside the budgetary window that was expected, okay, excellent,
Yeah,
all right.
55,000 and change, which is all we had, which is on a $6.8 million project's pretty good, so.
Get a motion? Over. That was the discussion,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pay request 17 approved. Next item is pay request number 2, Munson Brothers cured in place concrete project.
Make a motion for approve pay request number 2 for Munson Brothers. $474,396.98.
I second.
Motion and a second on pay request number 2 to Munson Brothers. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Pay request number 2 is approved. Pay request number 3, Metro Construction Bach Residential Housing Project.
Make a motion for pay request number 3 for Metro Construction for $62,207.64.
Second.
Motion and a second on pay request number 3. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Pay request number 3 is approved. Change order number 1, Parkway Construction Ball Field additions.
Yeah, on this one here, I think, we looked at all of these previously, and I think we had some of the canopies and some of those kind of things that we had in there. This is just kind of a summary of all of those. Is that?
Yeah, this is basically a housekeeping exercise that we had included all those. So on page 4, it summarizes the change order items, the seeding all the fields, the extra bracing for backstops, dugout roof upgrade, extending the irrigation, the shade structures, sodding the area by the storage shed. And then the new one on this particular version is the deduct for the work that the electric department had to do to repair some damage, $1,475.96. But basically, this was just some housekeeping cleanup to
Okay,
memorialize all those things into an official change order, even though they had been incorporated in the pay apps in the past.
so we need to approve the change order
Correct.
just as a placeholder document. Okay,
Not for any dollar amount, right?
I mean, it basically reflects what the adjustment to the contract price is. So our original contract with Parkway was $1,745,700. The final payment to them will get us up to $1,867,742.83. So that 122,042.83 change order basically reconciles the contract amount to get us so that the numbers are all correct to all the checks that Elaine has written.
But we've already paid the 122, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, the final amount here, the 18,524 is the $20,000 retainage that we've been
Right.
holding since last year, minus the bill for the electric department
Okay.
repairs. Yep.
City Attorney Freeberg has made a note there, and is the original contract price on the, looks like we have a typo in there, Pat. A change order contract price, it says $1,475,700, it should be $1,745,000. Just
Oh, yeah.
come around. Are we okay just to change that, or do you wanna?
If you wanna pen and ink it, that's fine with me
Okay.
on the copy that gets signed.
All right.
The bottom line number should be correct.
We good? Make a motion for change order number 1 to reconcile the addition of $122,042.83 to bring us up to date.
I second.
motion and a second on the change order number 1. Discussion. You 122, we were talking about change order total. So I'm showing 112 on the last page. I think I'm looking at the same thing. This is the Parkway This would be page 8 of 9.
Oh, yeah, so. If we look at, the page. On the change order itself, the one that has this
Okay.
on, this on the cover, if you look at page 4 of that, this is where. Maybe the numbers got a little bit muddled too, so. So to your point, Larry, the actual change order, or the change order from the additional work. Minus the deduct for the electric is $112,265.08.
Okay,
And then there was, the quantity adjustment, so the overs and unders of all the 80 bid items on the project, that amounted to $9,777.75.
Okay.
So that's where the 122,042.83
Okay.
comes from as the total change order. It gets a little convoluted, but
the way, yes, the way it's laid out, that 97 is showed as a deduct over on the right side, so.
oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah, so on the pay app, it shows it as a
Yeah.
deduct, on the change order, it shows it as an add.
Okay,
It's just-
thank
it's just
you.
a strange engineer math way to do it. Accounts wouldn't.
engineer math,
Is that correct? Engineer math works that way?
The accountant math is, I always hear, what number do you want it to be, so.
So that's part of the issue of doing the change order and the pay request at the same time. If we would do the change order at one meeting, fix all the numbers and have a pay request at the next meeting, would probably make more sense, but to streamline it, we.
If Mr. Freeberg is happy, I'm happy. Any other discussion?
Trustee Lane's got it figured out.
Sure.
Numbers keep rolling, they're like that.
All in favor? Opposed? Change order number 1 to Parkway with all of that math is approved. Pay request number 7 to Parkway Construction.
Make a motion for pay request number 7, Parkway Construction, for a final payment of the ball field complex in the amount of $18,524.04.
And second.
Motion and a second on pay request number 7 to Parkway, the final. Any discussion? Well done through that whole thing, Mike. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Pay request number 7 to Parkway is approved. Next item is the resolution 2025-8, the plat for lots 1 through 6 in the industrial addition to the city of Beresford in Lincoln County.
And the main purpose for doing this is just, we wanted to make sure before we started building Gun Club Road, we actually had a right of way platted, so we have done that, so. And we did accept, I think at the last meeting, we accepted the Dolan's Tract A, which would have been the ground that the cement plant donated for the new road, so. We've got enough space there, I think we've kept, what do we get, 36 feet of, off the city property, I believe, because Pat wanted to keep it at 66 foot right of way through there. And by doing this, we are also increasing the lot around the substation a little bit. And keeping some of our sewer system on city property that serves the hybrid turkey. That'll be on city property, and then the rest, lots 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will all be new lots that'll be up for sale. And we do have some interest in at least one of them right now, so. That being said, if that, we hope that one of those will get some construction started on next year, so.
Is this a first reading or?
No, this is, you guys can just approve that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any consideration to approve resolution 2025-8?
Make a motion for resolution 2025-8, platting of lots 1 through 6 in the industrial addition of the city of Beresford, Lincoln County.
Second. Motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-8, the plat of lots 1 through 6 in the industrial addition. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Resolution 2025-8 approved. Volunteer park playground equipment options.
remember last year we applied for a grant, the landwater conservation fund. We applied for 50,000, we put a budget of $100,000 together to put some new playground equipment on the new ball field area. So we've got a couple proposals here that we looked at. These are both people that are off the source well bids, so we can kind of pick and choose a little bit what we want. But then it's very hard to put a set of specs together on playground equipment because they're all so different. So we try to keep it off of the source well bid. They give discounts. You can kind of see what some of the discounts they provided in there. Rather than going through trying to fit a whole set of specs, which is impossible on this. We put a couple together. We try to keep them under 100,000 is kind of where we're at. We budgeted $50,000 of city money, and then land water conservation will pay the other 50,000 on it. Burke Playground Systems here has put together a couple options for you. They put some pretty nice pictures together for you to consider. They did 2 of them for us, so if you had a chance to look at all them. They are out of North Dakota. The salesman for them is out of Scotland, South Dakota. So they are in this era of playgrounds, they're kind of a local company. There aren't a whole lot of South Dakota companies that actually are based. They have salesmen in Sioux Falls or this area. So those are a couple of them there that we wanted you to look at. And Dakota Playscapes is also one out of this salesman is based out of Sioux Falls. Just a comparison, I had them put together the same one that we put into, we submitted to the state last year with our application. And on that, we were right at $100,000. At that time, they had a special on a couple of items that are on this one, which would be a bid max pot of 4,150. That was a freebie back then, and the balance being free, it would have been a freebie. So those account for about $5,000 extra, and the rest is just increases in costs that they've had since they put that original bid together a year ago. So that's the other one that we have that we're looking at right now. Kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on it. And I'm not much of a playground guy. My grandkids play on it quite often.
Is that
they're both very good quality stuff. They're both all made in the United States, and the products are. And we've dealt with Dakota Playscapes on other projects through the years. So
is that the install price? Do they come in, prep the area?
yeah, I did question that on the My Turn Play system because their install price, if you look at that, it's $31,385, and their mobilization $4,800. I asked, can that possibly be right? It's almost 36% of the whole cost. You know, yeah. That's what they're charging us, and the other guy's only at $15,160. So I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way when I saw that number, and I started looking at Dakota Playscapes a lot closer. And, I just think that's ridiculous to charge almost 36% of what you're putting in for 3 or 4 days of work. You saw they'd be done in about 3 or 4 days.
I like the handicap accessible.
There are
There are
many options. Yeah, I mean, this is just us putting a couple ideas together. I think it's unlimited what you can do.
There is. It's in wheelchairs in
Yep,
the city.
We try to keep that in consideration on all of these.
Yeah.
Our idea is to put it in kind of where the new ball fields are in. Number 3 is gonna be the closest field, I guess, to the creek that goes through there. We're trying to keep it fairly close to the walking path that goes from field 2 over to field 3, that which is a new ball field. Field 2 is an old one, then come to number 3 in that area, and also make it accessible so they can, if they have to come off of the parking area, they could in a wheelchair. We'd have to put some concrete in, but it'd be accessible that way. So we're taking that into consideration on this whole deal, and we've asked them to come in. I think on the My Turn Play systems, I think they, on one of them, Elaine, can you explain what that little thing was? I think she talked to you about it. That's the one that has that little ramp going up to the number 2.
Yes, so then, someone who is wheelchair bound can get up on that and pretty much hold themselves up to the top and actually go down to the slide to get back to their wheel.
That would be this number two one, the little yellow things that you can kind of see over here. That's actually for wheelchair people. Oh, yeah, they kind of look both the same to me. I can't really tell the difference on them, so.
And I believe that that same playground equipment, there's kind of a round. This is supposed to be geared towards children with ADHD. It's an area that they can go and focus.
Sensory.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had them put what, four different fields out there, didn't we? So
Yeah.
some of those little fucking things or horses, whatever they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because is that airplane also handicap accessible?
Yes. It's kind of more of a like sit down in and it's supported.
The borders are all this cushiony type stuff. I don't know if any of you have been down to Elk Point and looked at their park there. It's real similar to that. It's pretty thick stuff and then it's got a plastic border all the way around that just basically pounded into the ground. But pretty soft stuff.
And the fill material is
Yeah.
rubber or?
It's kind of a rubbery stuff, yeah. IPEMA certified engineered wood fiber, but it yeah.
This one doesn't have a cheap.
So it's still on view.
That's the only problem I have. They did a nice job. They did a nice job presenting. They walked the whole site with us, so when we got the quote, it's like, that don't look right. Why don't we do this? Let Elaine and I do a little more talking to these people. I don't think it's gonna be. What do they say? 8 weeks, 8 to 12, 10 weeks from the time we order till the time they could probably install. So we'd like to get it done this year. Later in the year is fine with what we have to do. Like I said, it only takes about 4 days to install it. We have to kind of get the site prepped a little bit for them. We'll do a little more investigating, come back with some more ideas for you. If you think we're going in the right direction.
I like
okay.
number 2.
Option 2.
No, and I'll just talk on some, we had a little questions, a little concern about some of those costs, so.
Yeah.
We'll see what they say. We're gonna try to get approval at the next meeting then.
Okay. Everybody.
Maybe we can get
Any
a
other
roll something else in.
thoughts?
Is drainage an issue, while we're talking about the drainage issues on our other play area? Is that anything that's considered in the design of this, like an under drain system to keep that?
I haven't seen water standing here, but yeah, that doesn't mean it won't.
You're thinking right south of field 3?
So, on not just right south, because I think that if kids were hitting balls, might get some big home run hitters there sometime. I hate to hit right into them. So it'd be on the other side of the sidewalk, just to the south of the sidewalk. There's a pretty good open area there.
Oh, okay, to the south of the sidewalk. they have to field 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
He measured it out. He said there's plenty of room there to do it. We got a fiber optic line that runs through there, but we could have missed that with the,
Trying to think if there's,
get your map there open.
no, just with the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
There hasn't been water in that area probably since the flood of last year.
Yeah, I think Pam will probably give us some ideas on that too, because they did all this survey around there and they moved some of the drainage coming out of that Bach property a little bit further to the east than it was originally. So there's some landscaping, there's some stuff that they're gonna have to do there. So
Okay.
Dad, can you take a look at that and give us an idea?
Yeah, I think part of it would be just knowing that this concern is there, and obviously these guys are gonna kind of start from scratch. They can build it up, the issue with the current playground is it's kind of in the hole to begin with, where, this will be more on a higher spot, so I think there'd be fairly good ways to mitigate that.
And both of these proposals, as I'm reading them, require the site to be prepped before they come. So,
Yeah, all that drainage does come off the parking lot through that area too, so I don't know if I couldn't really tell exactly if it was missing where we were at or not, but
So
obviously we'll try to find the high ground and redirect it if we have to.
can we prep it ourselves?
We will.
yeah, I suppose, yes, but
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's not a real big spot, so it's.
Right.
We can do that, yeah.
Okay, some more to come,
Yeah.
maybe next time around.
Give us a little more time on that one, we'll look at it and see if we can lock them down a little bit.
Thanks for putting that together.
Next item, appointment to library board, Natasha's Church, 3-year term to expire in June of 2028. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Tasha for the 3-year term to expire in June 2028.
Second.
Motion and a second on the library board appointment, discussion. All in favor, aye? Opposed? Okay, next, another appointment to library board, Pam McGill, 3-year term to expire in June of 2028.
I'll make a motion to have Pam have a 3-year term. Expire June 2028.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Appointment for Pam McGill is approved. Wind damage at the Veterans Memorial.
Don Delaney caught me a little off guard, and maybe I should have paid more attention, who was insuring this, we do now insure the memorial there, the Veterans Memorial. We have it insured for $29,000, our deductible is $25,000. I don't think the repairs to this are gonna be over that. Don Delaney is getting a quote to repair it, and I'm afraid it's probably gonna be our expenses. We accepted maybe apparently some time ago, before my time, we accepted that we would, once it was put in place, we would take care of the maintenance on that facility. So remember that Tom back in your days?
Oh.
I don't remember it at all. He said that we did, and we, like I said, I asked Elaine, do we have this insured? And we do. Only problem is we have a $25 deductible on that site. So we will get a quote for you and run it by you probably next meeting. So if you hear of any veterans that are concerned, we're looking into it. So.
Yeah.
Can they put some additional bracing behind them?
It looked like it was awful, yeah.
Just the spikes that come up through the ground?
It almost looked like if somebody would bump into it,
Yeah, you
Knock
could
it
have pushed
over.
them over.
yeah. Getting a quote from the same people that put it in, so I would have them come down and take a look at it once I find out who they are, because when I look at that, it's like, is that it? It's long, and then that thing's weighs a lot. Pretty top heavy. But
Yeah, exactly. Did Don feel that that could be a repair?
he didn't think so.
Oh, we don't, okay.
No.
All right, we'll look for that. Any other information items?
I just remember the strategic planning on August 14th.
Okay.
And if you talk to anyone, remind them about the community survey that's now out and about. I think we posted that last week, or this weekend.
I think Mayor Seeley did this weekend and then
This
I
weekend,
shared
okay.
this.
Yeah, he's been active with a couple of reminders too on that.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a travel request. C3 Technology Summit in Sioux Falls, September 22, 23. Or. But two to travel.
Make a motion for said travel request for Hanson and Larvick.
Second. Motion and a second on the travel request to Technology Summit. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Travel request approved. Pat.
I'll make a motion and pay the bill.
Second. Motion and a second that we pay the bills. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Looks like you get to pay the bills.
Thanks.
Okay. We do have executive session for a discussion on the hiring process for a new city administrator.
I'll make a motion to move into executive session for personnel.
A second.
7:54. Okay, away we go.